everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the Collection Comic of the Week. And yes, it's a special month. It's a theme month. For the month of May, we are exploring a long-forgotten, and maybe that's for the best, era in the world of comic books. This month is Amalgam May. Now, some of you out there may be thinking, what is Amalgam May? What does this consist of? What are you talking about? Well, back in 1997, there was a big crossover that people would die for in movies or even comic books in this day and age between DC and Marvel. Heroes from both universes fighting, going at it, Hulk versus Green Lantern, Superman versus Captain America, Batman versus Wolverine. All these different things. X-Men versus the Justice League. Everything that you'd want, going at it. And then eventually the worlds merge. And for a few months, we do not have DC Comics. We do not have Marvel Comics. We have Amalgam Comics, where the worlds have merged and the characters have become joined and become amalgamations of one another. And for the 5 Sundays here in May, we will be looking at 5 different Amalgam comics that I purchased when I was a kid. Because as a kid, I thought this was creative genius. And I thought I was getting issue number 1s that were going to be worth a whole hell of a lot of money, so much that I would not have to work because they'd be worth so much money I could sell them right now and I would not have to work a day in my life. I have to work. But the first Amalgam comic that we are going to take a look at is Dark Claw Adventures number 1. Or one shot, or whatever it is you'd like to call it. And obviously this is an amalgamation of Wolverine and Batman. And it is done by Ty Templeton and Rich Burchett, who were doing the Batman Robin Adventures, the tie-in, spin-off, or whatever you want to call it, of Batman the Animated Series, the comic book that was tied into that. And it was, for all intents and purposes, one of the best comics DC was writing at that time. It was falling in line with the show. It was like, can't get enough of Batman the Animated Series, read this comic book, and it's like extra adventures. It was so good that one of the issues became animated. That's how good it was. So, yeah. Now, as a kid, when I saw this, I'm like, Batman and Wolverine together? Awesome! Yes! And I also saw that big red number 1 thinking, and it's an issue number 1. Yes! Yes! And kind of thought that with a bunch of the Amalgam comics because, well, I kind of knew there was some... even as a kid, I knew it was them joining the characters together. I didn't really know what amalgam meant at the time. But I knew that's what was going on. I mean, I was young, and I wasn't educated, or as educated as I'd go on to be, but I wasn't completely stupid. I knew what they were doing, but I thought this was just a new series. They were going to have amalgam stuff. There's going to be a number 2 and a number 3, and there's going to be amalgam TV shows. We'll hear more about the amalgam TV shows. We take a look at this book, and there's going to be everything, but really it was just kind of... It was the 90s. It was the 90s. It was a comic ploy of the 90s. It isn't completely awful, and it isn't completely without its merits, but it's definitely something that the badassery and the excitement level that I felt at age 7 when I bought this book, and I bought all these Amalgam books, except for a couple which I found at a Comic-Con last year. I bought all these at Walmart and thought I was getting a hell of a deal. But without any further ado, let's begin Amalgam May. So the one thing I will give this book right off the bat is the cover is awesome. Like, it is a as corny and goofy as it is, the art is good. It really falls in line with Rich Burchett's Batman the Animated Series sort of art style that he was doing on the partner books with DC in the Batman the Animated Series cartoon. So that I will give it credit for. You know, that is a good cover, but it's just kind of... Being older, it's hard for me to look at this and go, wow, this is so awesome. So, open it up. Got the reversible jerseys again. And we get Logan, or whatever he's supposed to be, playing cards. And if there is one other positive thing I can say about this book is, if I ever wondered what it would be like if Wolverine would have showed up in Batman the Animated Series, the artwork done in this book is enough to make me pretty well get the idea of what he would in fact look like. That. Got an eye patch for some reason. I don't believe that is ever really explained. The Warriors movie. And go, and his version of Robin is Jubilee. Which, nice touch, I'll give it that. And then you have the Talia android robot with Ra's Apocalypse. Yes. Ra's Apocalypse, everybody. Continues. Sonic the Hedgehog. And there's Ra's Apocalypse. I mean, I guess it would make sense that of there being an amalgamation between those two, and this is kind of a nice little, like, what would be a throwback to that scene from the animated series and subsequently the Danny O'Neill and Neil Adams Batman book when Batman and Ra's face off, but still, it's just, as a kid it was badass, but now it's just hokey as all fuck. And the Claw Cave, and I forgot to mention this earlier, when Robin Jubilee was rescuing or picking up from that attack Dark Claw, that was called the Clawmobile. She was driving the Clawmobile. The Clawmobile. The fucking Clawmobile, you guys! Yeah. Interesting. He's got a Canadian coin instead of a giant penny. He's got, I guess that's a Canadian penny. Easy, if you see this, confirm or deny whether or not that's a Canadian penny. And there we go. More suiting up. I mean, it is a cool design, but it's just significantly more hokey as you get older. There's some baseball cards. There you see Talia, whatever thing. Okay. Ooh, Hershey's Cookies and Cream. Love that shit. Really, really delicious candy bar. And Tang with Mad Magazine. So you can destroy this copy to send this in. And depending on who you ask, maybe it's worth it. I'm glad I didn't destroy mine. And more action and some action beats. The artwork is well in line with, I really like that style from Batman the Animated Series and the comic books. So that is, still on point. I still really get that good kind of vibe from it. Whitewater rafting? Okay. Ad for whitewater rafting. Got more fighting with Talia and Darkclaw, Talia Apocalypse, whatever. And you got some more action beats. They're in the Claw Cave, Bat Cave thing. There's that. Robin Jubilee is trapped. He's yelling. It's not, if you can pick this up, it's not a terrible story, but it's just like, again, growing up, I can't quite get into it as much because it just, you can feel the hokiness, you can feel the cash grab, you can feel the, I'm not saying that every single comic book has to be layered, sophisticated storytelling like The Watchmen, or the Dark Knight trilogy in the movies, or have some kind of, social stance like the X-Men, but it's called Darkclaw, people. And much like in actual Batman, you have they love, but they can't be together. And, they're crying. And the very last part of it is Robin Jubilee asking for someone to untie her. And then we have just the coup de grace of all of these books is the made-up letters to the editor. Yeah. It's all everything. There's people in here saying they watch Darkclaw, the animated series. Yep. Like, as a kid, I didn't I will give them this credit as well. As a kid, when I'm reading this, I'm like, what? There's an animated series for Darkclaw? And I was actually it's before I had the internet, looking around, thinking is Darkclaw, the cartoon, going to come on? Are there going to be Darkclaw figures? I thought this was all going to be a thing. I didn't realize that it was done ironically. But there you go. Look at the other Amalgam comics. Some of them we will be checking out here in Amalgam May. Free dinosaur fossil kits and Fruity Pebbles. Damn, I missed that. And polo swim trunks on the back. And that was Darkclaw Adventures #1. I pointed out there was some good in that book. It wasn't a bad book with no redeeming qualities. And, for the time period that Darkclaw and all the books that we're going to go over this month, it was something, the time period called for something like that. As hokey as much as we laugh at, and it deserves the mockery. Don't misconstrue me kind of giving it some of the benefit of the doubt for saying that it doesn't deserve to be made fun of. It deserves to be made fun of. But for that time period, this was something that was acceptable. This was something that they thought was going to make money. Thought it could probably hustle a bunch of kids like me. And yeah, it happened. It happened. There were several more Amalgam books. There was enough to fill a month with 5 Sundays. And there's plenty more other than those. So, yeah. Darkclaw #1. Do you also own it? Let me know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, share, subscribe for more content, not just from the world of comic books, but world of anime, gaming, pro wrestling, and all things geek culture. Follow me on my social media pages, facebook.com/athleticgeek89, Twitter @athletic_geek89, Instagram @athleticgeek89. And if you'd like to help this channel out financially, hit me up on Patreon, patreon.com/athleticgeek89. And that, I'm out. Y'all be cool. Later.